Good afternoon. This is Dr. Norma Thomas, and this is the overview video for week 1 of Social Work 670. So what I have up right now is the syllabus, and I would suggest that you download a copy of the syllabus so that you also have in paper copy what you are required to do each week. So for week 1, we are going over the introduction to grief and loss, and in a few minutes we'll further go over the assigned readings. Week 2 is on the grief process. Week 3 specifically looks at loss in childhood. Week 4 is loss in adolescence. Week 5 is loss in adulthood, and week 6 is loss in the older adult years. And week 7 is resilience and self-care. Just to go over the assignments, the class participation is heavily weighted in this class, so that's 40% of your grade. There is a reflection paper that's 10%, a film analysis that is 25%, a culminating paper that is 25%. So that is your breakdown for the assignments for this class. So looking at those major assignments, there are reflections due week 2, week 5, and week 7. There is the film analysis that is due in week 4. The culminating paper is due week 6. So looking at week 1, the learning objectives are as follows: to identify and discuss personal and societal views on death, to differentiate between the terms grief, bereavement, and mourning, to demonstrate the ability to recognize and correctly identify the different types of death and non-death related loss experienced by clients. So the learning resources are as follows. There is pages 1 through 14 of the text, Living Through Loss, Interventions Across the Lifespan, articles by Shear, McLaughlin, Chesquare, Gruber, and Sampson, and Kessler, and an additional article by Penzo and Harvey. So read those 2 articles. There is a discussion on plagiarism. So just as a word when doing written work, that if it's not your own thought, you are to cite it. Direct quotes require using page numbers, so if one wanted to go back and look at the quote, you could do that. That you are, again, citing anything that you know not to be your own original work. And so if in doubt, cite. That the citations that you put use in the body of your paper also have to be used in the reference, and everyone should have a copy either of the latest edition of the APA manual. You can go to the American Psychological Association to get their guidelines online, and you could do Purdue and their online resource to get information about APA standards. So there are a lot of ways that you can get information, so you're real mindful of how to do those citations. There are 2 videos this week, and one goes over this whole area of grief and loss and definitions, and the other looks at changes in family systems, looks at systemic grief and loss. So look at both those 2 videos for this week because you will need them in activities. Also, as a reminder, your first reflection is due in week 2. So you all have done this many times, I am sure, but in order for the class to get to know each other, and since we're an online class, you're being asked to do an introductory video. That's a short video. So it's your name, your current field placement and or most recent job title, what you hope to get out of this course, why you think studying grief and loss is relevant to your future career. And please remember to speak slowly and clearly. And if you don't know how to do a video through Screencast-O-Matic, there is guidance here. You're going to follow up with at least 3 of your classmates. So remember, this requires you to follow up with 3 classmates. Your initial post is due this week by Thursday, and your follow-ups between Friday and Sunday. And remember, it is 3 people you are following up with. The next activity is to do a self-assessment. So you're going to do a self-assessment about your attitudes, beliefs, and opinions on death and dying. And you can click here to complete the self-assessment. After completing that self-assessment and reading the articles and the videos for this week, select one of the 2 articles from this week's readings and respond to the following. Identify and reflect on 2 key points from the articles. What losses are highlighted? Referring to the video presentation, how would you classify the losses? And reflecting on the self-assessment and video, how might your own or society's views impact the way you view the losses discussed in the article? Discuss the main significance of the article's findings to social work practice. How would you use this information in your work with clients, and what additional training do you think you need to work with clients experiencing loss? So this is set up differently. You won't be able to see other responses until you have posted your own, and you're encouraged to respond to peers, but in this one you are not required to do so. The next activity is using the same article that you use for the week 1 discussion article analysis. Present at least 1 question to your peers that stems from the reading. Make sure you identify which article you've presented a question on. The question can tie into any of the course material for this week. Then you select 2 peers and respond to their questions about the article they read. So be sure to respond to at least 1 question pertaining to each article. And this is one where you are responding by Thursday, and your responses are due to your peers between Friday and Sunday. There is also a self-care activity for this week, and the self-care activity is around coping with grief. Grief and loss are very difficult topics often to talk about. So just as other courses in the curriculum, this is one that it's suggested, even though you don't have to do self-care activities, that you very strongly consider, so that if you have experienced grief in your own life, or dealing with clients who have experienced many losses and the subsequent grief, this is an exercise that can help. So those are the activities for this week. If you have any questions, please send them to me as quickly as you can through the Outlook and the inbox in the course, and I will respond as quickly as possible. I look forward to meeting you through your video introductions, and have a wonderful week.